Welcome to this tutorial for Stride Events. Today I'm going to show you how to customize your ticketing page. So you'll log into your account, and then you'll see all of the events you've created here. These are, of course, our fake demo events that we use for tutorials like these. Today we're going to look at the Old Town Renaissance Fair. And then from the sidebar menu, you're going to select Edit Ticketing, and then Edit Form. Now you'll notice that I've already been in here and have made some customizations. So the first thing you'll notice is like the background colors here. So you can customize those however you want to match your branding. You can also do the same for the foreground here as well. I'm going to leave that one alone. And then we have up here settings, edit questions, and then you can just go back to the dashboard by clicking on this button. All right, so we're going to start with settings. There are a couple of different sections here. We're going to start with design. So right now my background image is disabled, so I'm going to go ahead and enable it. And right now I have it as matching my registration form, but if I wanted it to match my sponsor form instead, or if I wanted to use a unique image, I can do that here as well. For now, I'm just going to let it match registration. And then you'll see that I can adjust the form opacity here. So you'll notice that this green form that I have here, that has some transparency. If I wanted it to be fully opaque, I could just make this 100%, and then you would only see the photo on the sides. The next option is if you want to show your logo on your forms. It's currently enabled. If you want to disable it, you could. You can adjust the number of ticket tiles you have per row, any number between two, 3, or 4. So we'll just put it at 3. So you just can see what that looks like. And then one handy thing that we have that's a new feature is you can add a countdown clock to ticket orders, and that can help people finish their ticket orders. They'll see how much time they have left before their tickets are able to be sold to someone else. And then the last thing under design here is if you wanted to add a banner, you could upload a banner here. All right, so let's go back here. So you'll see that we've got our 3 tiles, and that looks pretty nice with all of our 5 tiles. If I want, I can drag these tiles into a different order. So that way the open events are at the top and it's in the order that I want. You'll see that I've added some photos to these tiles already. So if I click on the tile itself, and you can see where I've cropped the image. I can upload a new image. I can adjust where the image is. I can even play around with the size here. So that's a really nice customization here. I can also disable the image. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and hit save. On this tile, I'm gonna add just a different color. So maybe we're gonna go for like a yellow gold color to help make that stand out, match my branding a little bit more. All right, so that's everything you can do on this page. And of course, you can click here to upload your logo or to change it. You just click on this box and then you can upload it from your computer. All right, let's go back to settings. So you have some overall ticketing settings here, so you can ask people to verify their email, so they'll input their email twice. That just helps make sure you're not getting any typos or anything. If you have assigned seating, you can mitigate orphan seats. So that means that our system will stop orders that create unnecessary orphan seats. So then people will have to select different seats before they can place their order. And that can make it easier to sell out because you won't have a whole bunch of single seats throughout your venue. All right. And then if you have sent invoices for tickets and you have some orders that are in progress, you can have those count for selling out. And then an event will say sold out, even though some of the orders are still pending. So that can help cut down on some customer service, right? Because no one's going to open an event that looks like it still has tickets available, even though it doesn't, because you're just waiting for some people to pay for their tickets. All right, and then here we have two different ways that you can limit tickets, and this can kind of help with scalping mitigation and chargeback mitigation. You can limit the number of tickets that people can have in their cart per order. So that's an overall limit. And you can limit the number of tickets you will have in their cart per time. So you can kind of do a combination of the two or do one or the other, but that is a handy tool here for you. And then if you want to be able to send people text alerts, you can just enable this question, and then you can send them text alerts. So that's nice. And then if you have an event that has like a beer garden, or maybe you have different pricing for kids versus adults, you can validate for name and birthday here. You can do it for everyone. You can do it for specific event times, or you can do it by price types. So that's really nice. And it can just help things run smoother out the gate. So that's a nice feature there. And then if you have grouped event times, you'll see this last option here. And this just has to do with how your grouped event times show up. So if you want event times clustered in one calendar, you can check this box. If you want the calendar to be bigger on the purchase page, you can click here. Our system typically just skips the days that are sold out, but if you don't want those days skipped, you can check this box. And then you can kind of decide how you want the grouped event times flow to go. If you want to show single event times, if you want to skip the single time selection, or if you want to hide single times, you can customize that there. All right, so that is everything for settings. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit close. And then you can also add questions to ticketing. So if I click edit questions, then I can add questions here. We have some boilerplate questions that you can use here, like company name, emergency contact details, how people heard about your event. Of course, you can create your own question. You can have a question be a drop-down, a radio, checkbox. You can have free-form text, so single line, multiple lines, and then in advanced questions, you can make a drop-down that's editable, so attendees can add choices to the drop-down. So let's do a quick example with a drop-down. Maybe we have a t-shirt that we want to include in the ticketing order, for example. So I'm going to set up that question now. All right, now that I have my options, and since it's an optional question, all right, now that I have my options, I'm gonna go ahead and click show advanced. And maybe the shirts cost. So maybe I charge $5 for the shirts, and I only have, 50. So this will add $5 to all the tickets. for everyone who selects small, I can show the limit, and that can kind of help create a sense of urgency here. If there's no price difference, you can leave it at 0. Or maybe if there's a discount for no t-shirt, maybe you're gonna offer like a $5 discount, for example. So you can customize this how you want. And then at the bottom, you can decide if this question is required. If you want to ask this question for each ticket in the order, and in this case, I'm going to, but you may just want to ask it for the order overall. You can decide to show individual answers publicly. You can decide if you want this to show up on app at check-in. If there's a default answer you want to have selected, you can select that here. And then if this is applicable for all event times, or maybe it's just for specific event times, maybe it's just for the people who come on Sunday, for example. Or maybe it's just for the people who come to the Friday night concert, or you can even drill down into like the different sections, right? All right, and then if you have additional info, so maybe the sizing runs big, and I want people to know that so that they make a good size selection. We can put that information there, and then that will show up. Once I'm happy with everything, we'll go ahead and hit save. And then I can go back and edit the question if I need to. All right, let's look at what your ticketing page looks like for your attendees. So we're gonna go back to the dashboard, and then we will select website links. And then ticket purchase, we're gonna hit this link icon here. All right. So we've got that here. We're gonna go for our Sunday fare. We'll add 2 tickets. We'll add to cart, and then you'll notice that it's having me verify my email here. And then we will check out, and you'll see that we've got my time clock here that's going. That shows me how much time I have left to complete my order. And then we've got our questions here, and they're all required. And this quiz is asking the question per ticket. So I click there to see the details. I can see what's left. I can opt for no t-shirt. All right, that's how you can customize your ticketing page. Thanks for tuning in.